Welcome back to another episode of Unprofessional with Becky Mollenkamp. I don't know if this is a true series or not, but every once in a while I feel like talking about something and I'm feeling inspired right now because I just had another client call. And I have to tell you, my clients, who are all at this point women identified business owners, they're all stressed, to put it mildly. And most are business owners, not all, but some are traditionally employed. But the world is stressful right now. I mean, it is always stressful, but it's especially stressful right now. And it has me thinking about feminist or alternative economies. We live inside capitalism. It's not going to change anytime soon, other than it's becoming a more harmful form of capitalism and the idea of it being a fascist oligarchy kind of capitalism, which I guess I'm saying becoming, but it is, already is. But we're not escaping capitalism. But how do we exist inside of it when things are good, but also when things are really bad? I mean, I have clients right now. One of my clients is a business owner who works with a lot of corporate clients and corporate clients that are bowing to the powers that be and removing all of their DEI information and programs. And my client is like, I'm not going to do that. I work with these corporate clients, but I'm not doing that. And we're not taking our DEI statements off of our website. We are not stopping our DEI programs. That's scary, right? Because there's a potential cost in that. What if those clients won't work with them anymore out of the fear of being associated with a business like hers? I have another client who is most traditionally employed while also having a side sort of self-employment piece. And, it's become very clear that she's being sort of iced out as the woman on the team, the only woman in her team, in this very toxic masculine space in a very large corporate space where we know, the government is greenlighting blatant racism, sexism in the workplace. Acceptable. In the past, it was happening, but there was more recourse and it wasn't acceptable. Those limits seem to be going, and that becomes very scary. What does that mean for her and her work? I have another client who's also traditionally employed, working in research and in climate change research, and is an immigrant here on a work visa. It's a very scary time to be an immigrant in America on a work visa, working in fields that are clearly not valued in America anymore. I have another client who's just dealing with the economic fallout of what's going on right now, and people not buying because they're afraid. There's tariffs, there's inflation, there's uncertainty. There's so many layoffs happening at the federal level, but those things begin to trickle down. So all of my clients, all of whom are currently women, all of whom have many of them who have multiple overlapping marginalized identities, they're scared. I don't know anyone who isn't scared right now, who is not a white man, because it is a very scary time to be existing. And it can feel a little helpless and powerless. And so I was just thinking about this of like, what power do we have? Obviously, we have our power to vote, we hope, yet to be seen whether that still holds any power. But the one thing that we have for now is our economic power. All of us have economic power, even if we have individually all amounts of money. As we know, the top 10% holds 50% of the wealth. The other 90% of us are, trying to grab the rest of it. And together, we as that 90% collectively have a lot of power when we can band together collectively and use that power. And one of those ways we can do that is economically, right? That is probably, other than voting, and in some ways even more than voting, our economic power is our power. That is the way we speak to these people who care about only one thing, which is money. They don't care about us as people. They don't care about our humanity. None of that matters as long as it's enriching their pocketbooks, their stocks, right? As long as they see their wealth grow, they don't care at what cost. Don't come at me with the not all of them. There are some good-ish people who are in that top 10%. But the truth is, you can't really be there and be ethical. It's not ethical to hoard wealth when the other 90% of the people are fighting for scraps. But this is not that discussion. This discussion is to say that we have combined power when we start to rethink the economy. And what is that looking like? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I'd love to hear from you. But my thought immediately is now more than ever, we should always be doing this, but we haven't always, because it was a different situation. And those of us with more privilege have probably thought a lot less about this than people with less privilege. But what we should be doing is using our financial resources in ways that tell the people at the top that we're serious, that scare those people. What does that look like? Well, one, shutting down your Amazon account, right? I finally left Audible. Should I have been on Audible all this time? No, but I was. And okay. But you know what? All I had to do was download Libby. Now I'm getting everything free from the library anyway. Excuse me, I'm saving money and I'm not enriching Jeff Bezos. But more than that, it's where are we putting our money instead? Yes, it's important to think about where we don't spend our money, but where do we spend our money? And that's what I came on here to say, is to talk about a feminine economy. There is a book that you can get, Proposals for the Feminine Economy. I'll drop a link in. It's from Sister IS, which is Jennifer Armbrust, which kind of gives some ideas about 10 principles for prototyping a feminist business. And what does it mean to have a feminist economy? But I'm not even getting into the specifics of that book, though it's interesting to read. What I'm really talking about is, what does it look like for you to reevaluate all of your purchases and say, is there someone I can buy this thing from who has a marginalized identity, who is a woman, even better, who is a woman of color, even better, is a queer woman of color, or has some of these varying identities, disabled, neurodivergent, anyone who isn't a white, heterosexual, cishet male, right? How do I find those folks who aren't those people that I can buy from for everything from the services I enlist to the tools that I use, like in my business and in my life? And my challenge for you is to audit everything. Where are you spending your money? Is there another option? And if you don't know of one and you can't find one, ask. Look around. Use the comments here to share resources. Who are the people that we can buy from? Where could I get the things? By the way, the library is a wonderful place to go because it's not supporting the man, and it's also showing the government that we use these resources and that we value them. So Libby as an alternative to Audible. But what's the alternative to, I'm recording this on Riverside. It's a wonderful tool. I also think it was created and owned by white men. I think with tech tools in particular, we need to be thinking about this because we have created the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos of the world. I'm not blaming us, okay? But let's find the alternatives. Who are the people who are fighting against that? Who are the people that aren't those rich white men? Bonus points if we can find the people who are actually actively resisting right now, right? Who are showing up in their businesses and talking about these issues, who aren't afraid to have their DEIB policies on their website, who are implementing those programs, who are hiring women, who are hiring people of color, who are valuing our trans siblings. And if you are somebody who is in the position of hiring, can you hire those folks? If you have employees, how do you show them that you value the women who work for you, the people of color who work for you, the gender nonconforming people who work for you? It feels helpless and hopeless in a lot of ways, and I have been feeling a lot of that. But today, after talking to yet another client who's feeling all of the weight of all of this and scared, I just am thinking about, it's time to do something. And the thing that I think as a business coach and as a business owner, the thing I think about is the power I have in that position, power I have with my money. And even if I wasn't a business owner, every individual, how we spend our money says so much. So thinking about where are you spending your money? Can you make a concerted effort to be spending that money with the folks that this current administration is targeting, with the folks that this current administration wants to oppress even further? Find women, find women of color, find disabled women, find queer women, find disabled, gender nonconforming folks, gender expansive folks. Help those people because they're struggling and they need the money. I know because my business is down and I know all of my clients' businesses are suffering. And it's not a coincidence that my clients are all folks with marginalized identities and their businesses are all suffering. Make better choices with your money. I'm talking to myself too. Let's all make better choices with our money and not let it be happenstance that we are purchasing from people with marginalized identities, but we are intentionally doing so and talking about it and sharing those resources. Tell other people about the people you're finding. Support them, uplift them, make them known. Do it in the comments. No holds barred. Drop them in the comments. Who are the people? What do they offer? Who are you buying from? Who do you know? If you are somebody with marginalized identity and you have an amazing offer, if you can solve someone's problem, if you provide an alternative to something that some rich white dude is doing, tell people. This is how we start action, right? Like, we need to put our money where our mouth is. It's so critical. It has always been, but there's no better day than yesterday, and the next best day is today. And the next best day is after that is tomorrow. The sooner we start reallocating our funds in a way that fully aligns with our values, the sooner we send this message in the only way that they're going to hear it. The only way that politicians who are only in business to line their pockets, the only way that the oligarchy, these rich tech bros who are now running the government, it's the only way they listen. Don't invest in their companies. Check your stock portfolio. Get your money out of the places that are run by these folks, and start putting your dollars both in the stock market and in how you're spending in places that align with your values. That's my unprofessional message for the day. We're going to get through this together, y'all. We have to.